There you go. There you go. What did I tell you geeks about Alonso at the beginning of the season? They was all saying Alonso, no, he's finished. He needs to crawl away into a dark corner somewhere and retire. No.
Nope.
The great drivers always find a way.
Are you sure about that?
And let's face it, if it wasn't for Vettel, I don't think Vettel done it on purpose. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Alonso said himself, the team should have sorted it out. His team should have guided him in the right way, not to be there. But Vettel responded and said on the press conference, Vettel responded and he said, you know what? At the end of the day, everybody was rushing to the front. That gentleman's agreement doesn't mean shit. Very simple. You've got to go hats off to Alonso and you've got to go hats off to George Russell. As I see, it's looking good for him to go to Mercedes next season. He's performing, he's outperforming that car. Nobody can say anything about George Russell outperforming that car. He's outperforming it. Week in and week out. Where is Latifi? You know what made me laugh today? I think it was, I don't know who it was, some Sky Sports commentator when he was doing practice free. They were saying, look, this is Latifi's chance now to prove himself. Listen, geeks. Nicholas Latifi has been there for a couple of years. And now even Mick Schumacher in a Haas is out-qualifying Latifi. He's out-qualifying Latifi. So there's no excuses. If Latifi's in that Williams next season and Jack Aitken is not, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's
Another
going on.
season
How much money
is
he paying Williams to stay there? Because as I see it, that's the only reason why he's there. This guy has been a disaster at Williams. It's all right coming on the press conference and giggling like a stupid little geek, smiling like an idiot. But at the end of the day, you're getting beat by Mick Schumacher in a Haas. What are you going to say about that, geek?
What?
So, I want to see Jack Aitken in that car next season. I don't care what anybody says. If Jack Aitken is not in that car next season, I want to know why. And if you want to give your thoughts in the description below, go for it. Because Jack Aitken should be in that car. I don't care. To me, there needs to start pushing for the youth. Williams. They got George Russell. Will George Russell be there next season? I don't know. But it's looking good for him at the moment, for him going to Mercedes. Now, the guys I got on my screen at the moment, George Russell, Alonso, they were my drivers today. Look, Alonso didn't get into Q3. He should have got into Q3 because if he would have put the lap together, which he did only at the end, where he got compromised by Sebastian Vettel, Alonso would have been in Q3 and he probably would have got 5th or 6th place. 5th or 6th place he would have got. He was in there. He was driving the hell out of that car. Since Ocon has announced that he's getting that extension on his contract, Ocon has been nowhere. Nowhere. So all these predictions at the beginning of the season when everyone's saying that Perez ain't going to be nowhere, Perez is not the choice for Red Bull. I said that since last season, that Perez should be at Red Bull. And everyone's saying that Alonso should crawl off to a dark corner somewhere and retire, go and do some more Le Mans or GT racing. I said no, Alonso has still got it. A guy like Alonso is like Lewis Hamilton. They're cut from the same. They're cut from a different cloth to everybody else. I would have put Sebastian Vettel in there as well. Them three drivers, they're cut from a different cloth. Guys like that, I don't care if they're 40 years of age, they have still got it. And Alonso, at 39 years of age, he's showing the young guys how to do it. And Alonso is only going to get better. Imagine that. Alonso at 39 is only going to get better. And them two were my drivers today. At the end of the day, right, it's looking good for George. I'm not saying for definite, because I don't know. I'm not one of these geek reporters that report fake news to get followed on the channel. I'm going to tell you how it is. And as I see it at this moment now, Russell has got a very good chance of being in that Mercedes car next season. Because Lewis now signed his 2-year contract. We all knew that was coming. I thought it was going to be a 3-year contract. But he's got a 2-year extension on his contract. He wants to see out the new regulations. Good for him. I think at the end of the day, they're sacrificing a lot of their engine power, and I'm talking about Mercedes now. Mercedes are sacrificing a lot of their upgrading stuff for this season so they can start off on a good note next season. Do I think it's a good idea? We're never going to know until next season starts. But at the end of the day, like Toto will said himself, he says the worst thing you want to do is come into a new regulations and be on the back foot. Because if you can be on the back foot, that'll be you for the next 5 years. They want to dominate the next era. But at the end of the day, you could see the difference in power today. They was talking about upgrading their car this week. They have downgraded the car. Mercedes have downgraded their car since last week. Let's face it. Last week they were a little bit close, but this, not that we even got one Mercedes driver on the front row in the top 3. When can you actually think when's the last time that ever happened, when you haven't saw a Mercedes in the top 3 at the end of Saturday night and qualifying Saturday evening? And it's happened now, and you can see they've took the power out of the car. They haven't upgraded. I don't care what the technicians are saying. So we're going to bring upgrades. You need to bring upgrades because I said it. Look, McLaren have got a Mercedes engine. That was the best move they ever done. That McLaren have got a Mercedes engine. They're upgrading the car. They're putting upgrades on their car, and it's showing now. Mercedes don't need to watch about Red Bull. Mercedes needs to watch about McLaren, because McLaren are closing in on Mercedes in power. They've got the engine. That's the start. They're upgrading the car. Mercedes are not upgrading the car, and you can see today Lando Norris showing why he is going to be a future world champion. Standard. These are the George Russell, Charles Leclerc, and Lando Norris. Standard. In the next few years, in the next 5 years, in the next 5 to 10 years, them 3 guys will be picking up world championship, because Lewis is not going to be there forever. We know Lewis, and this might be his last contract. Do I think it's going to be his last extension? No. I still think he might go past 40. He's going to be chasing 8 world titles. I've got geeks coming on the internet saying, oh yeah, he's going to get 10 world titles. Listen, idiots. Let's chill out. Let's see how it goes. This season is not over yet. I'm not saying Mercedes are completely out of the water, but at the end of the day, if they don't win this race tomorrow and they don't win Silverstone, it's not looking good for the Mercedes team. And McLaren has done a good job with that car. We've got Daniel Ricciardo struggling, but at the end of the day, that's just the way it is. Will he come good? Eventually he might do, but he's not in a good place at the moment. He done an interview today, which at the end of the race, and he was saying at the end of qualifying he didn't even get into Q3. He was saying that the car felt great, he felt good in the car, but he's not getting the speed out of it. So you got him saying that the car's great, but he's still not getting no speed out of it. That's not a good sign. What Zach Brown must be thinking? Zach Brown must be thinking, why have I wasted my money on this Australian geek? He's all right talking, he can talk at press conferences, he could smile all he wants, but he's not performing on the track. This was the guy, Daniel Ricciardo, that said, when it comes to McLaren, he looked at Lando Norris and says, I'm going to destroy you. No one's getting destroyed. You're the one getting destroyed, not Lando. Lando Norris is destroying the car, getting into Q1, P2. Where are you, Daniel? Exactly. So at the end of the day, right, this was the qualifying. I'm not going to get into all of it. Don't really care. It's just one of them. But the guys that stood out for me was Alonso and George Russell. They're the guys that stood out for me. Now, Q1, Alonso was showing true grit like always. Q1, at the end of Q1, I think Alonso was P2 at one time. P2. There you go. So, at the end of Q1, he was in P2 at one time. So he's getting that car, like I said, he can get that car and he can overdrive the car. Just like Ayrton Senna. You give Senna a Tolman, he'll drive the car like it's a McLaren. You give Hamilton a Toro Rosso, he'll drive it like it's a Mercedes. He can get just like George Russell as well. George Russell is driving this Williams like it should be in the middle of the pack on Sunday. This guy can drive the car off everything. George Russell is special. I'm not saying he's going to win. Look, I know he's going to be a world champ, but George Russell's special. You can see he's special. And when he goes to Mercedes, he's going to see Wagwan. But anyway, on back to Alonso. Alonso was showing true grit in Q1. He was smashing the times. He said himself, Alonso, this is the best week the car's ever felt. So you know he's dialed in. He's got that car dialed in the way he wants to. So they were showing Ocon and Alonso on the computer, both of them together, to the first turning, and you can see where Alonso was making at the time. He was late braking a lot more than Ocon was in that first turn, and that's where Alonso was making up a lot of his time over Ocon. So there's three corners on the Austrian track, the Red Bull Ring, where you can really late brake, and Alonso, they had the two cars side to side. They was analysing both the cars, and you could see where Alonso was late braking and Ocon was nowhere. So again, as soon as he announced that contract, that he was getting the extension for 3 years with Alpine, he's been going downhill from there. So at the end of Q1, Verstappen's on top, Norris second, and Alonso was third. This is Alonso. This is the end of Q1. Alonso was third on the grid. Third after Q1. So all you haters out there, Alonso, what you going to say now? What are you going to say now? There's nothing you can say. No bad tweets about Alonso. No nothing. Just like when the season starts and I saw the dumb hairy geeks who's never had nothing in their lives, just sat at home with the mum all day long, never had a job, never had a girlfriend. They just go on Pornhub.com on a daily basis. They're the idiots that are coming online and saying Alonso is finished. Where are they now? Nowhere. Simple. I'm always right. Trust me. So at the end of Q1, Alonso was third, and Verstappen first. Second was Norris. Q2 started Verstappen. The first stint of Q2, Max Verstappen always had that edge over Lewis Hamilton all weekend. Lewis Hamilton would come out of fast lap and Max Verstappen the turbo and say, is that all you got? Watch this then. Boom, straight away past Lewis. Lewis never had an answer for Max Verstappen today. This is what happens when you don't upgrade your car. You don't expect to win a races if you're not adding upgrades to your car. And like I said, there was no upgrades this weekend. It was a downgrade. So Q2, Max Verstappen winning the first stint. Second was Norris, and Norris was always there. Norris was always second. So Norris was out qualifying Lewis for Q2 as well. So how does that feel, Lewis? You got Lando Norris, not just Lewis, Mercedes. Lando Norris out qualifying you. There you go. And he deserves it because Lando Norris, he's a future world champion. So you had Max Verstappen on top, Lando Norris second, and third was Perez. So Perez not really showing his stuff through the weekend during practice. Practice is not really, he doesn't really show his stuff in practice, Perez. Perez always comes alive in Q2. Q1, you'll see, watch, it's that repeated pattern for the whole of the season. You watch the whole of the season, this season, you see Perez, he never comes good in the practice session. He always comes good in Q2, and he's continuing that trend. Perez in Q2, coming third in Q2 behind Lando Norris. So you could see he was slowly building. So, they soon as during the end of the first stint, they pulled in George Russell onto the weighbridge, and because it's so random, anybody can get pulled at any time. As soon as you come into the pit, they just call you and say, look, on the weighbridge to weigh your car. And when they pulled him into the weighbridge, it was funny. He cracked a little joke with his engineer. He says, oh, was I going too fast? Was that good enough? And he goes, yeah, you're all right. And the basic was a joke between him and his engineers. He's got a great relationship with his engineers, George Russell. Once you're an F1 driver and you've got that closeness like Hamilton's got with Bono and so on, if you've got a good relationship with your engineers, you're good to go. You're halfway there. So they pulled him into the raid. It was just a random thing, and that was during the end of Q2, just before the last stint. So they towards the end of Q2 now, Alonso was on a flyer. They was looking at Alonso's data. Yeah, they was looking at his data, and they said that you could be like a P5 or a P6 going into Q3 easy. And what happened?
Where's Palmer?
And Fernando Palmer has
Basically,
retired.
he was going down to that corner, the last corner, Alonso. Absolutely amazing it was. Straight down the corner. And what happened? Vettel was on his slow lap. Vettel kind of twitched a little bit because Alonso come out of nowhere because he was on his fly lap. And Vettel got in the way and it compromised Alonso's lap. And he lost so much time and he couldn't get out of Q2. And he was ranting and raving over the radio at Sebastian Vettel. I'll try and put it at the end of my video today. When I finish this review, I'll try and add some of the audio at the end so you guys can hear it. You probably heard it anyway, but I'm going to add his audio and I'll add Vettel's audio and I'll also do the 2 interviews. I'm just going to get them 2 interviews, Alonso's and Vettel. I'll probably throw Russell as well. I'm going to mix it up this week. I'm not going to have the top 3 interviews like I do every week. I'm going to mix it up. These are my drivers of the day, Russell and Alonso, so you'll get their audio at the end of this review. So that was Alonso out of Q2, gone. But the good thing, the positive about Q2, that Russell finally got the Williams into Q3. He come on the radio and he goes, how did we do? Tell me. And the radio team says, the guy was nearly in tears. His engineer said, look, you done it. You got 10. You're in Q3. And he was so happy. Finally, after hard work, never giving up. I remember one time Russell couldn't even get out of Q1. And then he worked his way and he worked his way. But he goes, nah, you're not going to get your car into Q2. He got his car into Q2 and they said, nah, Q3. You're never going to get your car into Q3. There you go. He got his car into Q3. George Russell. I've been a big advocate of George Russell since his early days. Before the Formula 2 and Formula 3, his early years, I've been a fan of George Russell. And I knew from day one that he was going to be a world champion. And he will be a George. I know it's not happened yet. But all he's going to do is get that Mercedes seat. And that'll be on his journey to be a world champion, guaranteed. He's another special driver. Drivers like him, drivers like Lando, don't come across every day, every year in Formula 1. So, Q3, Bottas come out first. Max was following him to get a nice little tow. At the end, Max, he didn't really improve on his time from his first stint in Q3. He had his first stint, he had a 1 fast lap. And it kept his time. Nobody really passed his time. He stood up there. And on the second stint, they all come out and went on their last run. And what happened is Max Verstappen didn't improve on his time. Hamilton didn't improve on his time. He stayed 4th place. Bottas didn't improve on his time. And Norris improved on his time. I thought Norris. I was thinking, come on, Norris. Come on, Norris. Spoil the Dutch fans. They was all there for Max Verstappen. I wanted Norris to beat Max Verstappen to pole, to watch all them Dutch fans cry a river of tears. That would have been the best moment of the qualifying session. Watching all those Dutch fans cry a river of tears when Lando took pole, but it wasn't to be. So you got the top three of the qualifying session. So you got the top 3 of the qualifying session: Verstappen, Norris, and Perez. And that's how it finished, and that was the qualifying session. But for me, the standout moments today was when Alonso was going through his qualifying session, trying to get into Q3. Vettel got in his way, and you just see him raging. You hear that old Alonso, the Alonso that we all love. Alonso.
You ended up as a commentator because you don't know true champion.
Remember that? That Alonso. Back raging again. His old nemesis, Sebastian Vettel. Remember the 2012, 2013 season when he was with Ferrari and Vettel was with Red Bull, and I had that rivalry. I could see that happening again, and it's exciting for Formula 1. The old guys are still there. Not really old, but the veteran guys are still there, still giving us entertainment. And then at the front, we got Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, showing us everybody how it's done. Mercedes, I ain't got nothing to say about Mercedes. They don't want to upgrade the car. They don't want to add upgrades on the car. This is what you get. Very simple. So, this is Solo People. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button now. Follow me on Twitch. All links will be in the description below. This is Solo P1 signing out. See you guys tomorrow for the race day review, and go on my YouTube channel and Twitch channel for the live race results. This is Solo P1 signing out. Bye.
Okay, good. Going up.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
So it's currently P10. So we're through. We're through, mate. Well done.
Come on, boys, on the mediums. Yes! Yes, yes, yes. That was fucking awesome. Nice one.
Good job. Well done. Well done. Okay, so straight out. That's the 2 Mercs and an Aston in front of you.
Can I use overtake again if needed?
Hey, firm. Yeah, we're happy to do that.
How about are we on timing?
So currently all good on timing. Just be prepared to push through at the end of the lap. But timing's okay for now.
Are we going to catch anybody? Who's just closing the lap?
No one's opened the lap. It's Verstappen's leading the pack. He's at turn 9, so it's just a timing issue. So let's try and get ahead of one car. So let's get more speed into turn 6 and 7. Let's try and get ahead of one car, please. Okay, so there's 2 to go and 1 to go. Let's Stroll ahead. So gap to Stroll is 1.2. That's 2 seconds, no timing problem. That's 3 seconds, that's 4. Okay, mate, good job. Good job. So go in lap. That's a good lap. So that's P9 ahead of Stroll.
Alright guys, good job. Struggled then with the tyres. Yeah, good job, good job.
Yeah, nice one, mate. That was mega. Well done. So just keep an eye on the delta. So just stay negative on the dash. So -1 to -3 on the delta. Okay, we're happy on fuel. So that delta's good.
Nice job, buddy. Nice job.
Cheers, mate. Into P0. P0?
Yeah, you can switch off, so at P1, 5 seconds, and P0.
Copy.
What the I cannot believe it.
Me neither, mate.
Fernando, hi. I'm just hearing your radio play out now, actually, from the incident, and it was always a risk here at this track, I guess, with everyone backing up. But just tell me your thoughts on what happened with Seb.
Well, I think we lost our opportunity to be tomorrow P5, P6 on the grid and a different race. So now I guess we will not score points tomorrow. So whatever penalty they give to the others is never enough. So it's the way it is. I think it was very bad managed by the people in front, and yeah, disappointed because I think we have the potential today. It was our best car probably of the season in qualifying, and we didn't maximize it.
Did you guys talk about this on Friday in the drivers' meeting at all?
A little bit, but I think it's very confusing, you know. But because I think a part of the talk of the rules that they are in place, it has to be common sense, has to be harsh penalties, because it's not right, you know, what happened today. Very, very frustrating to lose a lot of points tomorrow, and now we have a race that we can't forget. Starting 14 is over, so yeah, another weekend with a little bit of a strange situation for us.
Okay, thank you, Fernando. Thank you.